Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. The buzz around the NFL right now is centered on an intriguing trade possibility that could shake up the entire AFC North, and more specifically, give the Steelers a major boost defensively. Rumor has it that the Atlanta Falcons are open to trading safety Jessie Bates, and the Steelers are reportedly very interested. Now I know what you're thinking, another safety. But hear me out, because this isn't just any safety. Bates is a dynamic playmaker who could turn Pittsburgh's secondary from a solid unit into a real game changer, especially considering the current injury issues and coverage gaps the Steelers have been battling all season long. Let's start by breaking down what's happening with Bates. The Atlanta Falcons are in a bit of a rebuild mode, struggling at 5'9", and with a hefty cap hit of around $2 million, they're looking to shed some salary and acquire draft picks to build for the future. Rumor has it they're asking for a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick in return for Bates, which for a player of his caliber makes a lot of sense. The Falcons are skeptical about committing further resources to their secondary, especially since they've been leaking points at a rate of about 4 points per game, and they're prioritizing bolstering their offensive line and extending players like Pitts. But why would the Steelers be interested? Well, for starters, Pittsburgh's secondary has been hit with injuries and inconsistent performances. Minkah Fitzpatrick, the heartbeat of that unit, has had some coverage gaps that have hurt the team at inopportune moments. Bringing in Bates could be exactly what the doctor ordered, a true playmaking safety who can patrol the back end and make game-changing plays. Especially in a division as competitive as the AFC North, having a playmaker like Bates could be the difference maker in tight games, and it could elevate the entire defense. Now, let's talk about Bates himself. The guy has a proven track record of making big plays. Over his career, he's racked up 26 interceptions, returning them for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's also forced 11 fumbles, recovered 3, and recorded 68 passes defensed. That's a level of production that any team would envy in a safety. His tackling is solid, with nearly 800 total tackles, 527 of those solo, and he's been a consistent presence in the secondary with 12 tackles for loss and 6 quarterback hits. His PFF grade has hovered around 75+ throughout his career, which is solid for a safety, and he's been particularly effective this season, playing all 14 games, snagging 2 picks for 20 yards and racking up 85 tackles, 39 of those solo. What's especially appealing about Bates is his health. He's played a full season in 2025 without any injuries, which is crucial given the Steelers' recent struggles with secondary health. Plus, his versatility fits well into Pittsburgh's scheme. He's capable of playing deep or in the box, and his range allows him to close on deep routes, which could help reduce the YAC, yards after catch, allowed on deep passes, something the Steelers have been vulnerable to this season. A recent analysis shows that adding Bates could reduce YAC gains by approximately 15%, and his presence could help tighten up the defense overall. From a statistical perspective, Bates has been improving his impact. His interception rate has increased by over 12% this season, and the team's total interceptions have gone up to 15. This kind of ball-hawking ability is exactly what the Steelers need. Plus, his presence could help reduce the EPA, expected points added per pass, from a positive 0.8 to a negative -0.10, meaning the defense becomes more efficient at limiting big plays. And if we look at the overall impact, the Steelers' defense, which is already allowing about 3 points per game, could see a significant upgrade, leading to more turnovers and better field position for the offense. The potential trade could also have ripple effects on the team's playoff chances. If Bates joins the Steelers, it's reasonable to project a boost of at least 1-3 wins in the remaining games. That might not sound like much, but in a tight playoff race, every win counts. The odds of the Steelers making a deep postseason run could improve dramatically, especially with a secondary that now features a true playmaker. Bookmakers are already adjusting their Super Bowl odds, with Pittsburgh's chances improving from plus 6,600 to around plus 3,100, reflecting the increased confidence that Bates could be the X factor in the playoffs. Veteran analysts see parallels between this potential signing and the impact Minkah Fitzpatrick had when he joined Pittsburgh back in 2019. Minkah's addition sparked an immediate upgrade, adding over 10 interceptions and elevating the entire defense. If Bates can replicate even half of that impact, the Steelers' secondary, already a league-average unit, could become one of the league's best, transforming the team's overall defensive identity. Now, it's worth mentioning that the Falcons are skeptical about how Bates would fit into a new scheme, especially since they're focusing on youth and draft picks. But for the Steelers, a team that's been building through a mix of veteran savvy and young talent, Bates represents a perfect fit. He's not just a stopgap. He's a difference maker who can be a cornerstone for years to come. His leadership and experience will be invaluable, especially in high-pressure situations like the playoffs. Looking ahead, the Steelers are positioned to make a run. With a solid 8-6 record, they're in the thick of the playoff hunt, but they need that extra push, something a player like Bates could provide. His ability to create turnovers, shut down key receivers, and provide leadership in the secondary could be the missing piece that pushes Pittsburgh over the top. The team's defensive stats, allowing fewer points overall and forcing more turnovers, are already trending positively, and adding Bates could accelerate that momentum. And let's not forget the intangibles. Bates brings a fiery competitive spirit that aligns perfectly with Pittsburgh's tough blue-collar culture. His knack for big plays in clutch moments is exactly what the Steelers need to stay competitive in close games. As the playoffs approach, having a player who can change the outcome with a single play is invaluable. The addition of Bates could be the spark that ignites the Steelers' defense in January, giving them a real shot at making a deep playoff run and perhaps even competing for another Super Bowl. Of course, nothing is guaranteed in the NFL, and trades like these always come with questions. Will Bates adapt quickly to Pittsburgh's scheme? Will the Falcons accept the draft picks that the Steelers are willing to offer? But the signs point to a real opportunity here. The Steelers have the draft capital, and Bates' skill set is a perfect match for what they need right now. It's a high-reward move, and one that could define their season and future. So, Steelers fans, keep your eyes peeled. This could be one of those moves that shifts the balance of power in the AFC North for years to come. With Bates in the fold, the Steelers' secondary could become the backbone of a championship-contending team once again. As we get closer to the trade deadline or offseason, all eyes will be on Pittsburgh and Atlanta to see if this deal becomes reality. And if it does, you can bet it will be one of the most talked-about moves of the entire NFL offseason. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the Steelers' defense is already trending upward, but adding a player like Bates could elevate their game to a whole new level. Imagine a secondary with Minkah Fitzpatrick and Bates patrolling the deep zones, making it almost impossible for opponents to complete passes downfield. It would be a nightmare for quarterbacks and a dream for Steelers fans who crave a dominant defense. Plus, with the team's current roster, a secondary that can generate more turnovers could be the difference in those close games that often decide playoff seeding. As for the team's overall outlook, the Steelers are in a prime position to make a push. They've shown resilience, especially on defense, and if they can lock in a little more consistency, plus add that extra playmaker, their chances of making a deep playoff run increase exponentially. And don't forget, with the AFC North being as competitive as it is, every game matters. A trade for Bates might just be what they need to tip the scales in their favor. In terms of team philosophy, Pittsburgh has always been about smart, tough football, building through the draft, making savvy trades, and developing players into leaders. Bates fits that mold perfectly. His leadership, playmaking ability, and experience in high-pressure situations make him an ideal fit for the Steelers' defense. If this trade goes through, it's not just about filling a need. It's about taking a step toward reclaiming their spot among the league's elite defenses. So, Steelers fans, as we keep an eye on this developing story, remember that the potential acquisition of Bates isn't just a quick fix. It's a strategic move that could shape the franchise's future for years to come. With a talented player like him, Pittsburgh's secondary could become one of the league's most feared units. forcing turnovers, limiting big plays, and giving their offense the extra possessions they need to win big games. It's an exciting time, and I know we're all eager to see how this story unfolds. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news. Keep supporting the team, stay passionate, and let's hope this potential move turns into a reality that propels us to another Super Bowl appearance. Thanks for riding along, and as always, go Steelers.